Hey guys, it's really funny how things can work out in life. And that's my New Year's message for you. It's going to be about um, going places and how things can work out. Because um, I'm sure you know that I have had depression before, and I told you that I never wanted to look back on that time once I moved away from it. And it's true, that's what's happened, for the last couple of years. I haven't looked back, and I've had so much momentum and feeling good. But recently, being at the stage I was at with my writing, I had to, I have everything there, but I just need to edit it. And so I just kept hitting my head against the wall, and I don't know, I just sort of sank into a depression for the first time in a long time. And it was awful, but so I couldn't write or anything. But um, what happened is I actually just decided to, because in my past I've been in interesting situations, and which you wouldn't know about, but or probably guess, but I knew somebody who was in the same situation as me, and I kind of like decided to try to write something to make them feel better. But it was kind of like it's kind of like a spur of the moment thing, and I was kind of, after I gave it to them, I felt like, oh god, why did I do that? Because I hadn't written in ages, and I just had such little time. But I did it anyway, and so when I was writing that, I was starting to reach for some emotions. I was feeling the feeling of expressing emotions again, and which is something that you don't get in editing. But anyway, so in spite of that thing, it actually worked out really well for me, because um, you know um, I actually wrote for the first time, and then so I've ended up with some momentum, and that's really what I want to say is that as long as you put effort in, I believe from my observation, effort always goes somewhere in some way, and as long as you're putting effort in, it will count somehow towards the future. And the thing is, when we look back, when we look at other people, when we think, well, this person decided to do this thing and put a lot of effort into it, I believe that from my observation that they were, a good deal of these people, who were successful artists or writers or whatever, were putting a great deal of effort into things before they necessarily things came together. There's always seems to be that story, where they're putting things effort in, and to the point where they nearly give up, and then things come together, and it's the effort that made it happen. So what I want to say is, especially to Auxora, who always seems to be feeling trapped because she can't just jump to put things together the way she wants to. But I mean, Auxora, you're still putting the effort in all the time. I see you doing that, and that is that is going to amount to something one day. So that's my message, is that as long as we put genuine effort into things and are sincere about things and put ourselves out there, and you know, keep tapping into ourselves, like, you know, whatever it was that brought us to want to do this. If we keep trying, putting effort in, you know, one day there's going to be something that comes along and you're going to think, wow, all that effort got me here. And I think that this is a good message for the new year, because you know, with me, like, so many things have worked out that way. I mean, for example, I was out of shape for a long time, but I never stopped lifting weights. So now that I'm getting in better shape, well, I was until I got depressed, but you know, people are like, wow, you got into great shape. But in actual fact, it was like I had all this underlying strength, you know, so I had the routine of doing this thing. So once I got the other components together, all that time paid off, even though for all that time it didn't seem like it was paying off. It did pay off, and it's the same with, you know, all the effort I put into things. You know, things come up. Like a year ago, I wrote this story for a friend, and just for New Year's, and it was a little story, and I put some effort into it. And actually, that story eventuated into the whole plot of the story that I have now. And that story is so much better. Yet everything I'd written for the previous story counted in that too. But so, you know, sometimes if you can't put your effort into your work, maybe direct your energy towards doing other things, but using that energy, and that energy will manifest again, and then it will be at your disposal. So, you know, like, I guess it's hard not to worry sometimes, but when you're living sort of on the edge of it, you know, but there'll come a time in your life when you'll look back and think, you know, if only I had have not worried so much, you know, I could have enjoyed the journey a bit more. And I see that from a lot of people. They get to the end, the goal, and they realize that, you know, the best things were all the challenges they faced along the way. And I think that, you know, we should take the time to appreciate how you know, how life works in this way, because you know, we try to control our destiny, and we try it in a way, and it doesn't seem to work, but it ends up that we get an even greater thing than we